Last month, my business sent 1 million cold emails and generated just north of 850 qualified leads for B2B companies, all with the help of these AI systems built entirely through Claude code. We used to have someone manually checking thousands of inboxes every single day, spending hours to identify bad inboxes and pull them out of our infrastructure. Now, we built a completely automated system with a human in the loop that tracks deliverability across thousands and thousands of inboxes, identifies when they're underperforming, and can pull them out of cold traffic to allow them to warm up and rehab. Campaign strategy briefs that used to take us hours on end and endless back and forths are now being completed in just minutes with AI, enabling us to handle way more clients, be more efficient. And the best part is, I don't even know how to write a single line of code, but Claude Code has made it simple enough and it's powerful enough that we are quickly automating key parts of our operation. So in this video, I'll show you 2 cold email AI systems that we've built out internally and are currently using every single day for ourselves and our clients. Just for context, before we dive in, you might be wondering why we built some of these things. And the reality is when you're sending high volume cold email, millions of emails a month, you run into problems that most businesses or smaller agencies might never face. Things pop up at scale that traditional software just isn't built to handle. So having the ability to create custom software for our business and for our clients that allow us to send more emails, land in the inbox better, write better emails, come up with better strategies, and do this at a faster, lower cost is a win for everybody. We are no longer only reliable on current software providers to get us the results that we need. So this first tool we built has literally saved us thousands of dollars since we implemented it and allowed us to provide a much smoother experience for our existing client base. Deliverability was essentially a black box to us. We had an idea of when we were running into deliverability issues, but with our existing software stack, it was difficult to know where the actual problem lies, meaning which individual inboxes had the issues and how could we spot it and correct it. That's when I realized that we needed a system that could monitor inboxes automatically based on a certain set of rules that we provide, identify those inboxes, notify us when those inboxes are hitting certain triggers, aka no replies, low warm-up scores, or high bounce rates, and trigger the necessary actions, which is typically take it out of cold traffic, allow it to warm up, and potentially bring it back in, if not just retire the inbox. We can now replace infrastructure and inboxes on the go with extra capacity on the side for any inboxes that we take out. So this is our deliverability dashboard. It drills down to the individual clients, as you can see up here, but this is the executive dashboard I use to get a quick view across all of our clients, see if and where the problems lie, and what we're doing to fix them. You can see we have our primary metrics that we're looking at, which is our volume and our reply rates and our bounce rates. Those are the main things I care about when it comes to deliverability. Of course, we care about leads generated, but that's a secondary issue. So just to give you a high-level view here as I'm going through this, each client has a number of inboxes and a max daily capacity, meaning if everything was running perfect, how many emails should we be sending per day? We then compare that to, okay, how many are we actually sending per day? And if there's a gap there, we need to close that gap. So first, that's about hitting capacity, making sure we're sending as many emails as we can. Second, we look at what is our healthy capacity. And healthy capacity just means we have a certain set of inboxes that have hit what's called a problem filter, meaning they are not generating replies, their spam rate reached a certain number, or their bounce rate has hit a certain number. The biggest thing I care about, and the biggest obviously identifier, is your reply rates. So if an inbox isn't generating replies, that is marked as a problem inbox. So your healthy capacity is just your total capacity minus your problem inboxes. So I always want to see, okay, what does that healthy daily capacity look like? And then on the flip side, I want to see what is our scaling potential. So scaling potential are inboxes that are performing incredibly well and they are not sending enough volume. So we actually want to increase the volume there. And then lastly, we have problem inboxes. So these are, again, the inboxes that are typically not generating any type of result for us. We need to take it out of cold traffic and allow it to rehab. But where the real value lies is when we go into the individual client data. So I'll head over there right now. I'll go to one of our clients. And what you can see here on the client view that's really cool is the client view will have every single inbox available. So right here, I'm scrolling through. This has every inbox for our client, as well as the key metrics, again, that we care about. How many emails have been sent? How many replies have been generated? What is your reply rate? What is your bounce rate? And then some warm-up stats as well. So we're looking at that warm-up. Are you sending enough warm-up emails? Are you sending enough cold emails? And are any inboxes problems right now? In its current state, when we identify problem inboxes, meaning they're not generating responses after sending enough emails, these emails are getting tagged as problem inboxes with a specific date. So If today is February 17th and we identify inbox has become a problem, it'll get tagged problem February 17th. It will then get removed from cold traffic for the next 10 days and allow it to just warm up, only focus on sending warm-up emails only. No cold emails. After the 10 days, we will bring that inbox back in, tag it as retest with the new date, so 2/27. When we retest it, we are looking to see if that inbox can now start generating responses. If it does not start generating responses, we will just kill the inbox entirely. We'll retire it, stop paying for it, and swap it in with an entirely new inbox. This dashboard is incredibly helpful for me and my team because it has unique filtering capabilities, it has our own custom coded rules, and it allows us to make bulk actions across the entire client base. None of this is currently available in the sequencers that we use for our business. So just to show you a quick example here, I might filter on, again using some sample data, I will filter where reply rate is equal to 0. And let's look where email sent is greater than 50. Okay, so we see there's a few inboxes here that have not generated a single response with over 50 emails sent. What will then happen here is these inboxes will get tagged as problem inboxes and they will get removed from cold traffic. So total sending volume will go down. We will get notified as a team and we will bring in additional infrastructure that's been sitting on reserve to replace that volume that was lost. So just to reiterate, this tool is incredibly useful because it allows us to do way more on the deliverability side. It allows us to track inboxes the moment that they land in spam and take them out of cold traffic immediately. There's no more guesswork involved and we're not losing weeks of downtime due to deliverability issues. Our standard process now is if we're sending 100,000 emails for a client, we'll purchase 150,000, we'll keep 50,000 on reserve, we'll use 100,000, and when certain inboxes start to fail or start landing in spam, we will take them out and bring the reserves in. This allows us to run much longer for clients and use infrastructure for 12 plus months, as opposed to when a lot of people run this in-house, their infrastructure will literally die in the first month. The next really cool tool that we built out was on the campaign strategy side. Prior to using Claude Code, we were manually creating campaign strategies based on our wealth of knowledge across running hundreds of active campaigns. Not only was strategy creation quickly becoming a bottleneck requiring tons of manpower to generate and get it right, but we also probably were not coming up with the best, most effective strategies for our client, as opposed to an AI agent that has access to all of our information, which campaigns are working, and can access the internet to pull in research on what's working in our client's specific industry and provide additional ideas that we might not have thought of prior. Here's what our strategy brief creation looked like. When a client signed on, they would provide an onboarding form and we'd have a 1-hour strategy session. We would then take the onboarding form and our notes and our learnings from the strategy session and put together a document outlining all the campaign strategies we want to run, along with the copy that would accompany it. We would then take the onboarding form and our notes and learnings from the strategy session and manually put together a campaign strategy brief that consisted of about 5 to 10 different campaign strategies, as well as the targeting and copywriting that would come with it. Now, this was a pretty good process, but it was very time consuming, and a lot of times it would delay a launch by a couple days because we're waiting on back and forth from us and the client. With our updated system, it now immediately retrieves the onboarding form. We still hold the strategy session because there are super important learnings and questions and things we can unpack live on a call. And so the onboarding form plus the transcript from our AI recorder immediately go to our campaign developer AI agent that has access to a skills file with all of our copywriting, our campaign strategy best practices, and the ability to access the internet as well as our active campaign data to put together the best strategies for our client. It then spits out on the other end a super clean document, which I'll walk you through an example that consists of a wealth of information that would take us hours on end, is way better than the work we were doing prior in a matter of about 5 minutes. We then come in over the top, add a couple changes here and there, maybe write a couple new variants, or prompt the agent to think of a couple different angles that it might not have considered in the initial strategy. With this, we can usually get our campaign strategies turned around to our client in just 1 day. Let me show you a quick example. So here we are looking at a campaign strategy brief that we put together using our AI agent for one of our active clients. I'll blur out some of the details for privacy purposes, but I'll walk you through what this brief looks like and how it's so effective. First thing you can tell is this is an incredibly well-designed document, right? It looks super professional, way better than the stuff we were putting together before. We start with an executive summary that covers the business, some of the problems that they're facing as outlined on our calls, our sales calls, and our strategy session, and some of the high-level ideas on what we're going to get into in the document. We have clear objectives around the sprint, aka what we're looking to accomplish for the client. We then go into a company and market overview. So we talk about the ecosystem, who are the other players in the industry, what are the market dynamics, and how is this going to affect our outbound campaigns? So here we're looking at some of the competitors. This campaign in specific is going to have a very strong counter positioning argument in it, as their main competitor is actually a monopoly in the space with huge market share and nobody likes them. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And our AI agent is aware of that. That's something we uncovered in the strategy session and is being overlaid into our brief. From there, we go into our target audience and our ideal customer profile mapping. So who are we going to target? We look at our primary personas. You can see here we have 1, 2, 3 different personas that we're going to target here in these initial campaigns. These are people that they want to be selling into and that they have success selling into. We talk about their titles, their industries, what they're responsible for, what success looks like for them, and what failure looks like for them. Their current solution, what's a business win, and then what's a personal win. All these things matter to us, and all these things are important for us to pick up on when we actually go into the messaging for our clients. Based on information in the onboarding form, we also look at what are the common objections that our clients are getting on a regular basis. This allows us to think through the messaging that we can work into our campaigns to preempt and handle these objections before they even come up. Now that we have all that base laid down and our foundation set, we actually go into what is our campaign portfolio. And here you can see we put together 7 different campaigns for this client, as well as a priority and the estimated volume that we think we can get from each of these based on the TAM map work that we did prior. So let's go into some of these campaigns. I'll walk you through them super quick. First, we talk about the campaign and the title for it. We talk about the angle that we're going to take and why we're going to take it, why this works, and then who are we going to target? Out of all the personas, who are we going to bring into these campaigns? From there, we go into messaging. The brief will typically write 3 different example emails. And you can see again, the formatting is just stupendous on these briefs. We will, of course, manually review these. Typically, it's about 90% of the way there, and then we add our 10% to humanize the emails a little bit more, make them feel a little bit more relatable, and add additional personalization points on. You can see here, again, campaign 2 follows a very similar format all the way through campaign 7. And again, we are verifying all these campaigns. These are ones we typically talked about on the campaign strategy, and then we ask our AI agent to find different campaign angles that we might not have thought of or that have not been uncovered within the documents and assets that we provided it. And again, this whole thing took minutes. Of course, it requires knowledge and good information from the client, and then a really good strategy session to be able to unpack a lot of these different things. Lastly, we go into the data strategy and list building side. So we want to show the client, okay, who are we going to target, but how are we actually going to go get that data? How do you know that we're doing it effectively? For this client, we looked at different list building methodologies, and the best possible thing that we came up with was a Google Maps scrape. We're targeting local businesses for this campaign, so being able to scrape Google Maps in large is highly effective for a campaign like this. So we marked that as our first priority. Next, we looked at Zoom Info for data enrichment, as well as Apollo, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and then specific construction databases that we can access and scrape and large. Lastly, we walk our clients through the 90-day sprint timeline. We work on 3-month engagements initially to build out and prove out this channel for your business. And we show you very clearly, here's what the timeline is going to look like. Here's when we're going to launch campaigns. Here's when reporting will kick off. Here's when our calls will kick off. And here's what you can expect over the 12 weeks of us working together. We then look at success metrics and reporting. So what kind of KPIs are we looking to achieve? What is a qualified lead definition? And then what is our reporting cadence? Again, this is all incredibly useful. This is a 23-page document. None of it is wasted. It is all crucial and important information that helps us run these campaigns and helps get us and our client aligned when we actually go launch in market. Again, just to reiterate why this is so valuable, we can now turn around campaign strategies in hours, not days, not weeks. We can get this in our clients' hands with better information, better learnings about their company, better messaging, better campaign strategies in a shorter time frame. This allows us to provide a better experience for our clients, launch faster, and ultimately reduce costs along the way. So those are some of the exact systems that we built internally. I wanted to show you what it looks like under the hood and behind the scenes when clients work with us at Otto. These tools will continue to improve. AI will continue to take over more of this stack and provide a better experience at a lower cost for our B2B clients. Now, if you looked at this and thought, damn, that's a lot. These are not really things that I want to do internally. That's outside of our core competency. Well, that's exactly why clients choose to work with us. We've built all of this and can provide it across a wide client base, allowing us to provide it to you at a lower cost than what it would take to build internally. So if you do want to learn about what a high volume B2B outbound system can do for your business, click the link below and book in a call to meet with me directly. I'll tell you if cold email makes sense for your business, why it makes sense, and if our 90-day sprint is a good fit for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.